For centuries, the identity of the Jews has been widely misunderstood, leading the church into both spiritual and historical confusion. Some claim the Jews are modern Israelis in the land of Israel. Others claim they are black, pointing to the lost tribes. Still others think Jew and Israelite mean the same thing. This confusion has led to false theologies, radical cults, and misguided politics. But Scripture does not define God's people by ethnicity, skin color, or citizenship. By examining these things, we'll discover the real identity of God's chosen people. The word Jew comes from the Hebrew word Yahudim, referring to the descendants from the tribe of Judah. They originated after the people of Israel split into two kingdoms. Before this division, they were called Hebrews or Israelites. At that time in history, they lived according to the Torah and upheld the spirit of the commandments. However, by the time of Yeshua Jesus, many Jewish leaders had added traditions that distorted the Torah. This led to the birth of modern-day Jews, including the religion of Judaism. Contrary to popular opinion, the Jews did not exist until well after the tribe of Judah was established in the southern part of Israel. A further error is the assumption that all the saints of the Old Testament were Jewish. Yet, men like Abel, Enoch, Noah, and Abraham all lived before the tribe of Judah even existed. Many also wrongly believe that only the Jews were present at Mount Sinai to receive the law. However, all 12 tribes were there, including Egyptian Gentiles. Essentially, all Jews are not all the same, and we must be careful to distinguish between Hebrews, Israelites, biblical Jews, modern Jews, and the Israel of God. These misunderstandings have led the church to embrace a distorted view of biblical identity, elevating ethnic Jews as God's chosen people. However, Scripture tells us otherwise. God says His children come through spiritual circumcision, not outward acts of the flesh or ethnicity. According to the Scriptures, the modern-day Jews are in fact separated from God, walking in spiritual darkness, much like the Roman Catholics or cultural Christians. Unless a person experiences true inward transformation, that is, a repentant, circumcised heart, and is born of the Spirit through faith in Messiah, no lineage, tradition, or religious practice can make them part of God's true people. Just like we read about in Hebrews chapter 11 and throughout the entire Old Testament, being born of the flesh is not what makes someone chosen. God's covenant has always been by faith with those who fear Him and walk in His ways. Yeshua taught the same thing in the New Testament. Though the Jews boasted of their lineage, claiming Abraham as their father, their rejection of the Spirit aligned them not with God, but with the devil. The Apostle Paul also teaches this, saying that not all who are descended from Israel belong to Israel, but the true Jews of Abraham are those who belong to Christ and have circumcised their hearts. Jesus affirms this in the book of Revelation, exposing those who say they are Jews but are not, calling them the synagogue of Satan. Modern Jews, whether they're true descendants from Israel, or whether they're Ashkenazi Khazars, or so-called Black Hebrew Israelites, if they are not born of the Spirit by faith in Messiah, they do not meet the biblical standard of God's chosen people. Friends, in these last days, the Spirit of God is calling His true remnant out of tradition and false identity. The time has come to put away false doctrines of men and return to the authority of Scripture. The restoration has begun, and God's people are waking up to who they truly are, not defined by the color of their skin, ethnicity, or a modern nation state, but by a spiritual covenant. They are those who have circumcised their hearts, who keep God's commandments, and have faith in Yeshua. This is true Israel. I hope you've enjoyed this teaching, and please check out my other videos from Pure Light Ministries. God bless.